Welcome to Aura. Thank you for being here. Let's talk about dopamine deficit, the loneliness epidemic. Loneliness is often seen as an emotional state, a feeling of isolation that can impact mental health and well-being. However, emerging research is increasingly showing that loneliness goes beyond mere emotional discomfort and can have tangible physiological effects on the brain, particularly on dopamine levels. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter often associated with pleasure, reward, and motivation. When its levels are disrupted, it can lead to a variety of negative health outcomes, including those linked to loneliness. Dopamine plays a crucial role in regulating mood, motivation, and the brain's reward system. It helps us feel pleasure when we engage in enjoyable activities, such as eating our favorite food, exercising, or socializing. It also motivates us to pursue goals by creating a sense of anticipation and reward. Essentially, dopamine is a key player in our ability to experience joy, satisfaction, and motivation. However, chronic loneliness can disrupt the balance of dopamine in the brain. In the absence of meaningful social interactions, the brain's reward system may not receive the usual positive feedback. This leads to lower dopamine production, which can create a cycle of diminished motivation, energy, and pleasure, worsening the feelings of isolation. Loneliness is often linked to the feeling of being disconnected or emotionally distant from others. The brain is wired for social interaction, and positive social experiences trigger dopamine release. In contrast, prolonged loneliness, especially in the absence of close relationships or social support, can lead to a depletion of dopamine. This occurs due to the lack of external stimuli that would normally activate the reward system. Research has shown that when individuals experience loneliness, they often report a reduced sense of pleasure in previously enjoyable activities. They may feel more lethargic, less motivated, and have a diminished sense of well-being. This is partly because their brain is no longer receiving the dopamine boost it once did from social interactions. In severe cases, the effects of loneliness on dopamine can lead to feelings of apathy, depression, and an overall decrease in the ability to enjoy life. This not only impacts mood, but can also influence cognitive functioning, making it harder for individuals to focus, make decisions, or feel a sense of accomplishment. The psychological impact of dopamine deficit. Dopamine deficits due to loneliness can lead to significant psychological challenges. Chronic low dopamine levels can manifest in a variety of ways, including depression. Dopamine is often referred to as the feel-good neurotransmitter. So when levels are low, feelings of sadness and hopelessness can intensify. Loneliness is one of the key contributors to depression, and the lack of dopamine further exacerbates these symptoms. Anhedonia. One of the hallmark symptoms of depression is anhedonia, or the inability to experience pleasure. Individuals suffering from loneliness may find that even activities they once enjoyed, such as spending time with friends, pursuing hobbies, or even watching their favorite TV show, no longer bring satisfaction. This is directly linked to the brain's reward system being underactive due to low dopamine. Decreased motivation. Motivation to engage in daily activities is also closely tied to dopamine levels. A person with a dopamine deficit may struggle to get out of bed, go to work, or pursue personal goals. This lack of motivation can be especially debilitating when combined with loneliness, as it can perpetuate the feeling of being stuck in a negative emotional state. Increased stress and anxiety. Loneliness, especially when it is chronic, is a major stressor. Stress triggers the release of cortisol, a hormone that can further interfere with dopamine production. When combined with feelings of isolation, this can lead to a vicious cycle of heightened anxiety, poor coping mechanisms, and deeper loneliness. The physical effects of loneliness on the brain. The impact of loneliness extends beyond mental health and can have significant physical consequences. The brain's reward system, which relies on dopamine to reinforce positive behaviors, can become impaired due to prolonged loneliness. Over time, this can make it more difficult for the brain to process pleasure, and it may even alter neural pathways associated with reward. Additionally, studies have shown that chronic loneliness can increase the risk of developing neurological conditions, such as Alzheimer's disease. Low dopamine levels may play a role in cognitive decline, particularly in areas related to memory, focus, and emotional regulation. Coping with dopamine deficit induced by loneliness. While loneliness and its impact on dopamine can be a challenging cycle to break, there are steps individuals can take to restore balance to their brain's reward system and improve their overall well-being. Social connection. One of the most effective ways to combat loneliness and its effects on dopamine is through meaningful social interactions. Reaching out to friends, family, or even support groups can provide a boost to dopamine levels. Engaging in positive social activities, such as volunteering, can also foster a sense of connection and purpose. Exercise. Physical activity is a powerful tool for boosting dopamine levels. Exercise increases the production of dopamine and other feel-good neurotransmitters such as serotonin. Even light physical activity, such as walking, can help reduce the effects of loneliness and improve mood. Healthy lifestyle. Proper sleep, nutrition, stress management. These things are crucial for maintaining a healthy dopamine balance. A well-rounded lifestyle that includes regular rest, a balanced diet, and stress-reducing activities such as meditation can help improve dopamine production. Therapy and counseling. For individuals struggling with chronic loneliness and depression, therapy can be a valuable resource. CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy, and other forms of counseling can help individuals identify negative thought patterns and develop healthier coping mechanisms. Dopamine is a key player in the brain's reward system, and when its production is disrupted by loneliness, it can lead to a variety of negative mental and physical health outcomes. The emotional and psychological impact of loneliness, compounded by a dopamine deficit, can create a cycle that is difficult to break. However, by fostering social connections, prioritizing self-care, and seeking professional help, individuals can work to restore their dopamine balance and improve their overall well-being. Understanding the connection between loneliness and dopamine is crucial for addressing the hidden costs of isolation and finding effective solutions to improve mental health. Amplify your aura and stay inspired.